A day may come when our courage fails, but not today. An hour of giant spiders when the age of ARK comes crashing down, but it is not this day. Today, we fight. Vadd here, and welcome to episode 24. Remember the retaliation damage we've been talking about? We're gonna fight some of the Robo tier today, and we're gonna die a little bit. Let's review this in slow motion. Yeah, we hit hard, but we die hard. There's a couple of Robo Spyders on the map. That being said, we're not gonna keep fighting them with our Warden sword. It's a lovely sword. It does great damage, but mostly we just get killed when we use it, so it's kind of low-key useless. Things to talk about here with the Robo tier. Notice we're on our T-Rex, our Alpha Rex here. It has some minions it can summon in. You're gonna push the left control button and then the letter Q on your keyboard together, left control plus Q, and that should summon in your minions. And that's kind of a big part of the value of your Rex, as we've been working our way up the big four evolutions, being able to not only stun our opponents, not only give them a big chomping bite, but in addition to summon in these little Rexes that kind of float around us. You saw it a little bit if you caught the tech episode. We were fighting the tech Giga. It spawned in some little tech Gigas to fight us. We can do the same thing, and it's a way for us to increase our DPS. We're gonna stun lock this Robo Spyder here in episode 24. Those big yellow squiggly lines means it's currently being stunned. If we were a little bit smarter, a little more cautious, a little more careful, a little more concerned, we would of course stand behind our opponent here, the Robo Spyder, because we are taking damage. We are in range of the Robo Spyder's ability. Things to know about the Robo tier: they can all summon in minions. The Robo Spyder, of course, summons in spider minions. Notice here, the spider's running away. Well, why is it running away? Well, we mistimed the stun lock. It is a little bit tricky. It's about a 20-second stun. Once you get through the animation, you're down to about 16 seconds, and then once it's time to start the animation again, you really only have about 8 to 12 seconds of stun, and trying to mix that in with the minions, to me, feels like a huge drop in DPS. The minions are there, they're fun, they're cool, they're a good part of the toolkit you have on this tier, but we simply just do more DPS, more damage per second. If we just consistently bite, we can get more bite attacks in. The animation times right now feel just a little long on trying to get these minions out. It's important to know you can use the minions, but I'd rather just keep chomping. We just do more damage more consistently. Keep your eye on that upper left hand corner. You're gonna see whenever we start one of these long animations that the health bar actually goes the wrong direction. The Robo Spyder here is healing. It's gaining health. That time we spend in those animations to summon in our minions to re-stun our opponent here is time that our opponent, the Robo Spyder, is actually healing. Notice these big kind of blue bally orbs it's throwing at us. Important things to know once again is that it has a ranged attack, so I would not consider taking this with a flyer. We don't really have a flyer that's good enough to even consider fighting the Robo Spyder, but I'm a little tempted since the spider minions do kind of walk around the ground. It summons in ground minions. That being said, we're on our Alpha Rex here. It's got the best saddle we can possibly get, and we're gonna look at the loot from the Robo Spyder a little bit later. We want to try and challenge it with more than just our Alpha Rex. We also have, of course, our Reaper. I completely forgot the name for a second. We have a Reaper, and it's not just any Reaper. It's endgame max everything we can possibly get with our Reaper. And this ranged attack on this top tier Reaper is absolutely fantastic. It does so much damage. Losing the torpidity of the tier below this Reaper, the lower tier Reaper, is completely worth it to get this increased damage. Now, Reapers don't have saddles, so we need to be a little more careful with their health bar. They should be taking decreased damage, but suffice to say that, oh, check this out. Again, we get a little bit of some kind of a flippity flop. I don't know what this is, but we're gonna try and steal this from the RGs and go ahead and harvest the bodies. Okay, so Robo Spyder, not a big deal. If you get yourself an N tier tamed Reaper, you can take it on. You can get yourself the big four evolutions, you can take it on. What about the Robo Gorilla? Again, it's gonna summon in a whole bunch of teeny tiny little monkey minions. There's some Gigantopithecus in there. They look teeny tiny, but they're actually standard size. We're just huge. And again, we're gonna stun lock it. This time we got ourselves to the side, so we're not taking any damage at all. The health pools on these Robo tiers is absolutely fierce, but it's level dependent. So You could see on the first spider we went to fight, the Robo Spyder, its health pool was different from the next two. Same thing with the Robo Gorilla. They all have millions of health, but we hit really hard, and since we don't take any damage because it's stun locked, there's no real challenge or question that we're going to lose. That's okay, that's all right. We're going to chomp our way through this Robo Gorilla. Notice this time we switched to first person for a little bit here. It's a terrible view. Visually, it's fun to have all these colorful animations, but for me, I just find them kind of obnoxious. First person doesn't make it any better. I'm on this giant tame, so I just can't see anything, and this is kind of the whole fight. This wasn't maybe the most fun I've had in all the fights. Now, granted, some of the skills been removed because or some of the challenge, because we've taken the time to bring this tiered tame in. We have this super great Rex, and again, we're going to try it with our Reaper, who's also pretty strong. We use the range attack, something you haven't seen on the Reaper yet. It has a bite with that right click, a range attack with the left click, or maybe I have those backwards, but in addition, it has this X attack, and I really like this Reaper X attack. It shoots out like these gumballs, like these multi-tiered ranged gumballs, and you know, before the Robo Gorilla could get to us, it's almost at half health. See there, it has 42 million health, and now it's knocking us around back to 25 million health. The Reaper is definitely viable as of the current state of the mod to fight the Robo tier. However, we take a lot of damage. We can't stun things, so we get knocked around a lot. We even get knocked around by the monkey minions. It makes this fight kind of obnoxious, especially if we were trying to take this fight somewhere where maybe we're near a cliff edge or a wall. I'd be really careful if you're going to fight some of these monsters. It's tough to see, but we're doing that X attack. It's doing great damage. I'm having a little bit of a tough time aiming the X attack and getting a good visual angle for the camera. It almost feels like maybe I'm having some struggle here as well because of the ground we picked it on. We're on a little bit of an uphill to try and not get knocked around as much. Suffice to say, we win the fight pretty much no problem. Now, what else can we fight? Well, the Robo Dragon. Good thing we're in the Age of Reborn mod. We know where to find it. It's stuck in a wall somewhere. It's always stuck in a wall somewhere. It's a little too far for us to get with our stun. Maybe we could have picked a better angle or built a ramp. That would seem excessive. We could have whistled our minions here, but I've got a shotgun. I say we just shotgun the old boy, hop on our saddle, and instantly die. Okay, well, the good news is it just killed us and completely left our tame alone. This is why sometimes maybe you should be keeping a tame instead of on neutral, where it will defend itself on passive, where if it takes damage, it won't go ahead and defend itself. Of course, the Robo Dragon can be stunned right out of the sky. We're gonna stun lock it and we're gonna chomp it. That's the whole fight. This is the secret. Now you know. But well, why? What other options do we have here? Not much. If we don't stun lock it, we're forced to try and bite something that can fly around us. And if we showed up with a weaker tame, we have a chance at losing. I'm going to speed this up to about 50 times the game speed. We're going to watch the health bar melt. Robo Dragon has gone down, and if we didn't like turn off the interface, it's just giant damage numbers and bright letters. You can't see anything. It's a little much for me. All that being said, Robo Dragon has been defeated, but could we do it with our Reaper? Like, this is the real test here in my head, because we know once we stun a thing, it can't unstun itself. It just is stunned, and then we walk behind it and bite it. But the Reaper takes the damage, and we can't stun it, so we're gonna miss some of our shots. Notice the gumballs are firing out. I wish they had a name. If they have a name, comment, let me know what those gumballs are called. I think it's a cool attack, cool enough on this endgame tame to have it be a named attack. We do try and get some bites in, we do try and get some tail whips in, but ultimately our gumball attack, I think if we can land most of them, it hits the hardest. Now maybe I'm wrong here, but again, we're getting knocked around, and this giant knock around is pretty obnoxious. It's already hard enough to hit the giant flying dragon as it, you know, circles us, but in addition to trying to hit a moving target, it's just knocking us around. And again, the damage numbers are just absolutely abysmal. I'm told there's a mod that you can remove damage numbers with, but I don't know about that. Let's check out the loot. What do we get? Well, we're getting lots of artifacts, we're getting some trophies, and we're getting some corrupt armor. Our Warden armor is so good though, we're not gonna waste any time in this corrupt armor. Our Warden armor has several thousands of armor, and we almost never take damage, and when we do, we're insta-killed anyhow, so why would we even bother with the corrupt armor? That being said, if you're trying to get some trophies, trying to get some artifacts, this is definitely a tier you want to fight your way through, and it does get you the prime corrupt armor. We've been getting some of these giant robots. That's right, the mechs. things to know about the mechs in the mod. You can tame them, go ahead and jump out there, tame a few, but you are going to need to fuel them, and they do have that heat bar you need to manage. They do run on element for fuel. When that fuel tank goes to empty, then you can fuel them up. Of course, they have a couple of attachments, a couple of mods, a couple of things you can throw on them. I thought we should go ahead and check them out and just see if they work. These are creatures that came into the ARK world and Extinction. I do like the big cannon. I like the pose it makes. We can kind of aim it. I wouldn't fight anything with these guys. You could try it, but seeing as we had our Warden armor on with several thousands of armor and just got one hit killed, I'm not sure that these giant mechs would do much better. We are using cannon shells to shoot this. It's visually cool. It's a fun thing to play around with, but I'm not sure that other than maybe a meat run, I would even bother with these guys, especially since they can't fly. A different module you could try and put on are these rocket pods. These things are so cool. I really hope that you are enjoying the mech showcase. If mechs have ever looked better in ARK, let me know. But there's a third one. Not only do we have this giant cannon, the rocket pod, but we can also throw up a shield. Maybe if you're in a tribe, there's a way to take advantage of this shield. I'm really not sure, and I'm not sure it's really worth spending time on. It does run on element, which is pretty expensive, but the real question is, can we make the mega mech? Normally you need a king titan to go ahead and do that, but we went ahead and got 4 mechs. We went ahead and got the mega mech armor. You're gonna see it says we found 4 mechs, but there's no alpha king titan, no mega mech for us.
Learned something or enjoyed this video, share with a friend. If you are new here, subscribe now. If you have joined and enjoyed before, welcome back. If you would like to see more quality content, please consider joining me in supporting the channel through Patreon and utilizing the affiliated links. Thanks.